I'm surprised we got blocked on Centipede. So let me just kind of switch the camera. You never know what's gonna happen. So this is LaToya. Heart Don't Lie. We got blocked on Centipede. We got to play like 4 hours of the Jackson's movie without getting blocked. Now, can somebody say hi? I think the comments are blocked. Wendy, can you say hi? Somebody? Loniqua, Joanne? I think Facebook punishes me. That won't be good. Alright, so let's see. We'll have to go to the backup phone. We'll have to go to the backup phone. Oh, Facebook. Why did they do this? So now I have to lower the volume on that. Then I have to click here. Yeah, see? You guys are saying hi, so I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it on the second phone. So, okay, you know, that's okay. It'll be a little awkward. Yeah, it's a delay, but they blocked me from... All right, here, let's get back to LaToya.
More than anything else. And of course, on my way here, I couldn't help but to think.
Once again, it's Janet, LaToya, and
his personality the same. Has he changed?
Rebbie's birthday, and then we're gonna do a tribute to Jodi. But me and LaToya have something in common. I never thought when I first saw this video years ago that I get to experience this. So.
Around us, eating at the tables with us, doing everything that we do, asking for his Haagen-Dazs and going in the refrigerator and getting it and having whatever you want. Hello, how are you?
Hi, Patty. And here is Bubbles.
Oh,
you guys remember Patty?
Hi, Bubbles. What
oh,
are you
boy.
in your mouth? Hi, Bubbles. Hi.
So,
look at.
You want to come a little bit? Yeah, you can come closer.
There's something in his mouth.
And let's see, have you got some water? How you doing, sweetie? What's in your mouth? You swallow that?
Oh, look at, he looks incredible.
Isn't he beautiful?
He looks incredible. Bubbles, hi, do you remember me? Bubbles? Hi, Bubbles.
He might be spitting. I think he is going to spit. It's all right. He's getting ready to do it, yes? Can you show me what's in your mouth?
Bubbles, what's in your mouth?
You want some
Bubbles,
grapes?
open your mouth.
More grapes? Open your mouth. And
He wants to put water on me. Okay, I think he swallowed it.
Yes, I think he did too. Open.
Bubbles.
He only spit at one person. Well, no, he spit at Patty before. That's true.
Turn around. Can I see you? Can I see you? You're going to give him a grape?
Do you want some more grapes? Come over here. Turn around.
LaToya! He used to react to my name when Michael called me. LaToya! He's really... He used to always say, look.
One thing that Bubbles really likes to do is play in the hose. Do you want a drink? Would you like a drink? Okay, we'll see if I can not get LaToya wet too.
It's okay, no worries.
He likes the water.
He likes, can I put it on him? Look at Bubbles.
Bubbles loves the hose and sprinkler.
A little bit of water, okay? A little bit of Bubbles. Here. Here, some water.
LaToya,
Yes, Bubbles.
did he play in the hose and in bathtubs and water?
Yes, he did.
He did?
Yes, and he would take showers actually, because he had his own vanny. So he would do everything. Look, okay, you get some as well. Look at Bubbles, feels clean. It's very interesting because when I look at Bubbles, I still see the features of when he was extremely young. And that looks the same to me, although he's grown a bit. I could still see that. And I see the gray around his mouth.
Yeah.
Which is amazing. Look at all the gray. Good. I think he kind of remembers me, guys.
This is a little after Michael passed.
If you don't mind, I just want to say a couple of words to Bubbles and love.
That's great.
Okay.
You can go around there. Just, stay back. Okay.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
I wasn't going to show this part, but
Bubbles. Yes, hi, Bubbles. Hi, Bubbles. You know I miss you. I haven't seen you in ages, Bubbles. Do you remember me, Bubbles? Do you remember me, Bubbles? You're looking like you do. Do you, Bubbles? 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 Oh, I want to kiss you. I want to hug you, and I know I can't because you're so big.
I know that feeling, you guys. I mean, I can't imagine what...
I think you remember me, don't you? Yes, you do.
You know, this is right after Michael passed. I mean...
Bubbles. Bubbles. You remember me, don't you? You remember me, don't you, Bubbles? 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 I miss you, Bubbles.
Ugh.
Bye.
Oh, boy. All right, once again, happy birthday to Rebbie. This is Rebbie throughout the years. And the Toya throughout the years. All right. I was going to play 2300 Jackson Street, but we probably better not. So let's... look at me trying to work this thing. I mean, really, you guys. Now it's backwards. All right, so... see, now this is going to be hard. See, I have to look at this phone to get the comments, which is not going to be good, but all right. All right, let's start a little with Jodi right now so that we can use up all the time that we're going to have when she comes.
I want you all to understand is that even in high school, even in middle school, you can be of service to your community.
Actually, wait one second. Hold on. Let me just show you. Let me just show you her. She's going to join me in about the top of the hour, okay? But I just want to go through her. We just finished the past 2 days watching the two-part miniseries, The Jacksons and American Dream. She was an executive on the creative side of this, but just take a look at her resume. I mean, Gen 44 Entertainment, the president and the first lady. She started working for Eddie Murphy. All right. I mean, it'll literally take forever. You can kind of just see some of the names. So, here's just a little about Jodi.
By doing internships.
In her words, And
doing
then
community service. You get much more experience outside of school that helps you become that well-rounded
I'll keep an eye on the
that
comments
is
here
gonna
on the
help
other
you get
phone.
scholarships, but also is going to help you when you get to college and have to become more of an adult quickly. You'll be able to balance life much better. So by my second year, I had this wonderful internship at Paramount Studios, which was the big studio at the time. And I had written a script for one of my classes, and I passed that script on to my internship boss. And they ended up offering me a job to work at Paramount Studios. And I was only, I think, 19 years old at that time. I was in my second year of college. And while I was at that internship, I ran into Eddie Murphy. And Eddie Murphy was, you know, of course I was all excited. It was Eddie Murphy, and he was at the height of his career. And I gave him my resume, and I gave him that script because I happen to have them both on me. And that's another thing that you should always be prepared for success. I just happened to have my resume, and I happened to have that script with me. And I took the moment to not ask him for his autograph. I asked him for a job. And the point of that story is, I always tell my kids, and I tell every scholar that I run into, there's an old saying, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And what that means is if you don't open your mouth and ask, if you don't speak up, if you don't inquire, you won't get fed, right? And so I always encourage my students and my scholars and my own children, make sure you speak up and ask the questions that you need to ask. Be polite, but definitely ask questions of your superiors or anybody that you're working with, whether it's an internship, a job while you're in high school, or even in college, with your professors and with your teachers. Always ask if you're confused. And then when you get that answer, apply yourself the best you can. It's not about just asking questions or asking for opportunities. It's about applying what people tell you into your own life so that you can accelerate your life. So with that, the funny story is I gave my resume to Eddie Murphy, and he was such a comedian at the time that he actually crumbled my resume up and threw it back at me. And he said, "You don't want my autograph?" And I said, "No, the only autograph I want from you is on a paycheck." And he said, "You know, that's pretty brave." And he threw it at me. And so I was a little dejected, and I felt bad. And I actually went back to school, and I was upset. I called my parents, and I said, "I ran into my first celebrity, and he was awful." But the next day, I literally got a call from his office, and his office said, "We would like you to come in for an interview," because he felt like you were one of the most brave souls he'd ever seen. And he thought it was actually funny that I came up and did not want his autograph, and that I wanted a job, and that I was so focused like that. And so long story short, that was my first job in television and film. I was working with Eddie Murphy Productions. We put a whole bunch of television shows on the air. He was at the height of his film career, so I got a chance to work and write and script and do a whole bunch of things in his company with a lot of other celebrities. He knew everybody at the time, so I met everybody at that time. I met every comedian you can think of. Somewhere along the line, I ran into Michael Jackson, and Eddie introduced me to Michael, and from there I ended up started working for Michael Jackson and the Jackson family, and I developed one of their films that there's a movie that comes on VH1 now that documents their lives. And so I ended up getting a great relationship with them. I then moved on from that job to another job where I started working at Nickelodeon, and I got a chance to work on a lot of Nickelodeon's original first shows that launched that network. And so I was having a great time, and I got 2 Emmy nominations from 2 of the projects that I had worked on at Nickelodeon. And it was great because I felt like I was working with kids and I was entertaining kids at the same time, and I loved every aspect of that. From there, I kept working up the ladder. I ended up working and running Magic Johnson's company. And once I did that, it was probably maybe 10 to 12 years into my career, I decided I had done enough for other people, and it was time for me to step out on faith. And I prayed overnight. I talked to my parents, and I said, I think I don't want to work for anybody else again. I think I'd rather work for myself. And I was very young at that time. I was probably 30s, my early 30s, which seems ancient to you guys, but I was very young in my career at that time. And so I stepped out on faith, and I started my own company, and I recruited 7 people altogether that were friends of mine, that we were all hardworking people in the industry, and we all left our jobs and came and stepped in and started working with my company. And from there, my sister was one of those people. She actually stepped out on faith with me, and we ended up running the company together, and we ended up buying a couple radio stations, which I had never done before. She was the mastermind behind that because she understood finance, and she understood how to put money together and work with the banks So we were able to buy these 2 little tiny small radio stations. One was in South Carolina and one was in Phoenix, Arizona. I had never done that before. And it was something that I called as many people as I could. And again, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. So I asked the questions of people that I knew at radio stations.
What a great quote.
I asked the questions of people that I knew in the music industry. Like, what do I need to know? What do I need to do to be the best that I can be at owning these radio stations? And so luckily, by the grace of God, we were able to run those radio stations for a couple of years, and we sold them for 7 times the amount that we had bought them for. And so at that age, I think I was maybe 31 or 32, I had become a millionaire. And it wasn't like I was tons and tons and tons of millions. I had just made just enough to say, hey, we're millionaires and we made it. And so from there,
what a great story.
Has been able to survive and thrive. And we've been able to work on other projects like the Jackson Family Dynasty, like Married to Medicine is one of my shows now that's currently on Bravo TV. I'm actually directing, as we speak, another documentary with Janet Jackson. And I just do a lot.
This is a couple of years old, you guys, this interview.
I've been very fortunate to be able to follow a path that was close to my heart. I was able to figure out what I wanted to do at an early age and put those steps in place in order to keep following and building on each one of your successes. Successes can be small, they can be little tiny increments, but each one, the job that you have before you is to build on each one so that you can grow. And that means growing as a human being, that means growing as a community member, that means growing as a scholar, that means growing even as a best friend to your best friend. It's just all about growth. And I think the last thing that I'll leave you with is the lesson from my life is to, and this is something I tell my children all the time, don't be afraid to dream big. If you want to be a doctor or a neurosurgeon, not just a doctor, but a neurosurgeon, then put things in place to make sure that you start following that path, and don't be afraid to chase that dream. Don't let anybody dissuade you away from following a dream that may seem like it's huge and insurmountable at the time. You may be in 5th grade right now and you may want to be a scientist. You may be in 3rd grade right now and you may want to be an artist.
Sounds like something Michael would say, right?
That don't know anything about what you want to do. But as you grow and as you get older, go to the library, go to Google, find out what it takes to actually take the steps to become the best you that you can be. Because one of the things you want to understand is life is long. And life is long if you make the wrong decisions. Life is even longer. And so you definitely want to find something that makes you happy, dream big, and don't be afraid to chase after that dream. Because I am proof that from the age 8, I dreamt big, I chased that dream, and I've been successful to this date to be able to live out that dream.
And she's one of the nicest people that you will ever want to meet.
En un evento televisado para millones.
Here's some of her works.
Hey man, it's every man's dream. We saw Janet's nipple.
That's just when everything went wrong. When she realized how exposed she is, it didn't feel right.
There was no equality of punishment. I am really sorry.
When there was an opportunity to punish her for it, they did.
Malfunction, the dressing down of Janet Jackson on DirecTV.
Of course, we all know what this is. Jodi worked on the creative side of this here, and my God, it's been a classic for 32 years. For you guys just tuning in, we watched part 1 on Monday and part 2 on Tuesday. It's on my Facebook page. It got blocked on YouTube both days, so you can only see it on Facebook from yesterday and Monday, part 1 and 2. And So hopefully Jodi's going to share some stories here of working with Michael. Jermaine was an executive producer with his wife. And she's worked on a bunch of projects, so. Just the introduction to this. Once again, Michael Peters, choreographer, you know, from Beat It and Thriller. Along with Vincent Patterson, of course. I almost want to watch this again, but no, we're not going to. The music just gets me, like, so ready for it. So once again, Jodi, executive producer here.
Why he didn't do the photo shoot. Also wanted to know if we're going to move forward with the concert, if he's going to participate in the concert.
Hey, Jack. Hey, Tito, what's up? Tito was where? He's coming. I got to talk to him a little while. He's not mad or nothing, so.
We only have 13 people watching. That's sad, but all right. I mean, a few thousand people, you know, will see it, but they'll just be it'll be an intimate group. Maybe that's better sometimes.
How was things? How was the shoot? Good? Yeah. He's wondering that. Can you saw mom? Exhaustion, red eye, pink eye, blue eye, black eye. Did you even have pink eye for it? Yeah.
I think something else is going on, you know. I don't believe he had the pink eye. I really don't believe that.
What are we doing? We're going to talk about this show thing we've got coming up. Well, Fred, y'all all in agreement that we're going to do it, right? Yeah, I'm down. You know, whatever you want to do. We got to look good. We got to rehearse. We got to catch up on things, and we got to just be what we're supposed to be. We'll make a list of stuff that we need to do. You and I take care of music. Since we handle the music, y'all can handle all of it. So we'll deal with the band, and y'all deal with the y'all got that. Then Jackie and I are going to come and critique what y'all got. Music's not a problem.
That's the most important thing.
I know it's not a problem.
The donation ain't, it ain't funky. When we get together,
They all had that same smile, right?
each other's energy. We know exactly what to do, how to put a show together, the dynamics, the high, the lows of a concert. We know exactly what to do when it comes to that.
We should do a song list, and we should find a song we want to do. I think we should start with
Once again,
because a hot number.
this was
Some of my songs in it. It wouldn't do as bad.
Jodi's project.
When it comes to my music, they just throw it to the side. But if they were smart, they would do some of my music too.
Well, we get serious. Come on. That's me. Let's get serious. Well, let's get serious. Let's get serious. Let's do Can You Feel It? Shake Your Body.
Not to shake body, shake it towards the end.
What song you gotta do that? I know a song you give me.
This here was well, she'll talk about it more, I think, but this was planned in 2008. You know, while Michael was still here, and Michael was going to be part of it.
It's so much music, you know. I mean, all this music.
I think it came out in December of 09.
I really do. We should take one of his grooves and wear it out. Let's do a medley of Michael songs. Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. To the end, guys, when it starts climbing, you know, it should just go out up here. Absolutely.
It's going to make you guys get up there and get the groove. You don't want to stop. You want to keep going. Did you ever start pumping up?
It's the stage, yeah.
I think that'll always be a part of you. That's what you've done since 7 years old. So that's a part of you.
My brother's always excited to go and do something on the stage. It's going to be very interesting to see how it feels without MJ there, though. So, how are you going to feel emotionally?
Because you all really want to do this, right?
I'm pretty excited about this.
Yeah. You think we have the time to do this? Pull this off?
Yeah, we got time. We got time together.
You have to be dedicated in these rehearsals.
Yeah,
That's the only way it's going to work.
Okay, come on.
You could just watch these guys talk like all day long, really.
You in now, right? You in. Come on, baby. You eating, right? No, I'm definitely in. Yeah. Come on, bro. All right. He was almost like, yes, but no, but yes. So we'll see if he's in. So right here.
Yeah.
People often ask me,
This here's also Jodi on the serious side.
The legal system tried to kill me. I mean, it literally tried to destroy every aspect of my life.
I was like, oh boy, we were in a fight. It was real.
In every way, I was hurter. A wrecking ball came into the city. It didn't care who it hurt or what the consequences were. They simply wanted somebody to pay.
But watch them with handcuffs being processed. My God, you're talking about educators. We worked 14, 16 hours a day for kids. They're trying to convince me to say I cheated.
I will die before I stand up and say I did something I didn't do. I'll die first.
I had to make a decision to cheat or not to cheat. I made the wrong decision.
It was one of the biggest scandals ever to rock American schools.
There is a hell beneath. Pedro Noguera talks about it as the normalization of failure.
That means you don't think black students could learn.
This was never about children. This was about a power grab for educational funds in the state of Georgia.
The Republican governor says, let me take over these failing school districts. Well, the districts are failing because you're underfunding these schools by $1 billion a year.
The cheating scandal was not about education at all. It was about changing public perception of public schools.
You made them distrust educators. Then you have to have other people come in to save them from themselves.
We wanted to get at the truth. Now, were we interested in putting some of the higher-ups in jail? Yes. They needed to go to jail.
There were 256,779 answers that were changed from the wrong answer to the right answer.
At this Georgia courthouse, you'd think they were indicting mobsters with charges like racketeering and theft.
The bail bondsman said to me, you would have been better off if you shot somebody.
All I want from any of these people is just to take some responsibility. But they refuse. They refuse.
Those same people who hurt children got on the stand and said, I hurt children. And everybody believed them.
You need to watch out. This is the plan, to take the funding and to take the schools.
Unless people know the real history of what happened in Atlanta and why, we're going to see these same kind of situations continue in other cities.
The truth truly needs to be told.
Don't put your blame on me.
A film by Jodi Gomes.
I just knew something was completely off. And I have a very large family. But I was a single mom sort of wading through all of this minutia of nothingness. And then I put my warrior crown on and I tore a page out of your book, and I have to thank you from all of my soul. And the first thing I did was accept the fact that something was off with this beautiful baby that I had brought home from the hospital. And year 1, year 2, and year 3, our pediatrician basically told me I was crazy. But as he got older and milestones weren't being met, Mommy dug in deep. And one of the biggest things I did, without having a husband to lean on and a partner to go and bounce information off, I went to the internet, I found Generation Rescue. The first thing I did was change my son's diet. I knew something in his system was off. I didn't know if it was vaccines or environment. Something was off, so something had to give. And what gave was diet. I took out gluten, I took out casein, and I didn't see much difference except that his digestion did change a little bit. He was able to have less constipation and was able to poop happily. But language was huge, social interaction was huge, and I, for the love of God, could not connect the dots how diet had anything to do with those things. So then I added things to a system. Supplements were huge for us. Supplements to this day. I keep everybody that's a sponsor here in Zomedica, I keep you guys in business because you keep my life going. Everything that you can think of, from DHA to high levels of EPA. Omegas are huge for my son. Digestive enzymes, probiotics, the higher the better, are huge for my son. One day without them, he can go speechless. One day with extra, he can speak and tell me an entire sentence in conversation and gather his thoughts. So it's been a journey, but I have to say, removing things like gluten and casein from the diet, but add to their diet, supplement, is huge for me and for my son. And, we have the added addition of seizures. So we have this lovely autism and we have seizures, and they both flare up when they feel like it. And as a single mom, I have to say the women and men on this stage have become my besties in life, because when in doubt, and they'll tell you, I will text them at 3 o'clock in the morning, this shit just happened. Are you guys going through this? Because I can't find it anywhere. And I tell you, they have answers, and when they don't, they are there to support me. And the other thing I would say to every mom and dad out there is, the thing, if you can take away from here, is respite. I always have to make time for me, or I'll collapse, and the whole...
She has a son with autism,
so I would say
Tanya.
one parting thing, the big word you would hear from me is respite. Everybody says take the R word out of, retard and all that out of the vocabulary, which I agree with. I say add in the other R word, which is respite, if you can. Get your me time, replenish yourself, rejuvenate yourself, so that you can still warrior on for your child, because it's a lifelong journey.
She's a warrior mom, amongst many things. Hold on, that's not what we wanted.
Hi, I'm Jodi Gomes, executive producer and director for the film One Child Left Behind, the untold Atlanta cheating scandal story. And this is...
My name is LaDawn Blackett-Jones. I'm co-EP of One Child Left Behind.
And also to my left...
Hi, I'm Marcia Halliger, co-executive producer on One Child Left Behind.
One Child Left Behind is a documentary. It's a harrowing story about 12 educators in the city of Atlanta that were tried and convicted for test cheating. It's pivotal and it's relevant now because, of course, test cheating is in the news now. And we want to find out if our film versus what's going on today is relevant together, and if there's equal justice. Our film does a deep dive into the case itself, but also looks at high-stakes testing.
Come on, Joe, we have to give your background.
Public school systems when it comes to high-stakes testing.
People often ask me, what did this verdict cost? It cost everything. The legal system tried to kill me. I mean, it literally tried to destroy every aspect of my life.
I was like, oh boy, we win a fight. It was real.
In every way, I was hurt. A wrecking ball came into the city. It didn't care who it hurt.
Jodi, I studied the greats.
It wanted somebody to pay.
Watch them with handcuffs being processed. My God, you're talking about educators. We worked 14, 16 hours a day for kids.
No, trying to convince me to say I cheated.
I will die before I stand up and say I did something I didn't do. I'll die first.
Well, U.S. public education is a nationwide crisis, and so in the film we basically do a deep dive with both sides of the equation of the story. We gave equal time to the prosecution as well as the defense to make sure we got a balanced story. We wanted to know the why. Why were 12 educators, 12 African-American educators, being treated like mafia? And we got to the bottom of it because basically there was about $4,500 that was exchanged among the 12 educators that basically rose the case to the level of RICO charges. RICO charges are used for the mafia. And I'm going to hand it over to my fellow co-EP here because she's also an attorney and she can tell you what that means. But as it related to our case, it made them have charges that went upwards of 30 years for some of their prison sentences. And that just, to me, the punishment didn't fit the crime. And so I wanted to find out, how did we get here and how do we stay away from going here again? And at the end of the day, did the children get helped or were they left behind?
You know, this story of the Atlanta cheating scandal became national news. But before it became national news, it was started by the media. Our local paper told one side of the story. And then the investigators from the governor's office told the next side of the story. And then the prosecutors told a story. So One Child Left Behind is the first chance for everyone's story to be told, from the teachers to the students to even the prosecutors and the investigators. And I believe no matter what people may have thought about this story before, when you hear it from all sides, why would you prosecute Black teachers? Why are we investigating these teachers? It really helps to bring home exactly what Jodi said, how important it is for us to look at education from a well-rounded 360 view.
I had to make a decision to cheat or not to cheat. I made the wrong decision.
It was one of the biggest scandals ever to rock American schools.
There is a hell beneath. Pedro Noguera talks about it as the normalization of failure.
That means you don't think Black students could learn.
This was never about children. This was about a power grab for educational funds in the state of Georgia.
The Republican governor says, let me take over these failing school districts. Well, the districts are failing because you're underfunding these schools by $1 billion a year.
The cheating scandal was not about education at all. It was about changing public perception of public schools.
You made them distrust educators. Then you have to have other people come in to save them from themselves.
We wanted to get at the truth. Now, were we interested in putting some of the higher-ups in jail? Yes. They needed to go to jail.
There were 256,779 answers that were changed from the wrong answer to the right answer.
Black excellence are the three women you're looking at. Black excellence is everybody here that is at this festival that's telling some sort of story about the African American experience. I think that is Black excellence, and I think that we are thankful to ABFF for giving us the platform to share stories by us, for the nation to understand us. And I think that is the definition of Black excellence. What do you think?
I agree. We had a chance to dive in and share this story. We're passionate about our production. We're passionate about saving the children, and we're going to have a chance to allow everyone to see this story and know it for themselves.
At this Georgia courthouse, you'd think they were indicting mobsters with charges like racketeering and theft.
The bail bondsman said to me, you would have been better off if you shot somebody.
All I want from any of these people is just to take some responsibility. But they refuse. They refuse.
Those same people who hurt children gotta understand is how I hurt children. And everybody believes them.
Don't put the blame on. You need to watch out. This is the plan: to take the funding and to take the schools.
Unless people know the real history of what happened in Atlanta and why, we're going to see these same kind of situations continue in other cities.
The truth truly needs to be told.
Don't put your blame on me.
All right. Hey, everybody. All right, so we're waiting on Jodi. The comments are, I have to use the other phone here, but let me just show you a little. She's worked with a who's who. Once again, you guys, for the past 2 days, we've been watching the Jacksons and American Dream.
It's been 20 years since we've been in the studio. How are we gonna make this happen? I never wanted to hurt you. I never wanted to be separated. You never forgot where we come from. What do we got each other? Let's show who we are. We're not back in the studio. We're letting cameras into our life for the very first time.
We're family. We'll be Jackson 5 to the day we die.
The Jacksons, a family dynasty. I think this show will capture things that people never had seen. This is non-programmed. It's just off the cuff.
You hear the press saying certain things about the family, and this really is just to see what the Jackson family is all about.
I just want the cameras to roll and see who the brothers are.
I don't think people will ever understand the loss of Michael as a brother for me versus a pop star. It's very emotional to me to talk about my brother's death. I miss him.
I think the audience is going to see they're people. They're people just like all of us.
We make jokes on each other, and we have arguments like any other family.
Why you take my stuff off the track? I mean, when the studio, we all went for it, and you take my vocals off? Because I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
What y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna play ball? Y'all gonna argue all day?
My brothers are knuckleheads. They need to listen to me more.
Jermaine trying to get next to the lady. Get over there. No, I'm trying to learn respect.
These guys haven't changed. I mean,
Don't forget that some of the brothers have grandkids.
I hope the fans learn something a little different about the Jacksons.
What I really wanna do,
You guys sound like the Supremes in it.
Shut up. We're back in the studio to show who we are. The Jacksons, family dynasty.
Introduced ourselves to the world as the Jackson 5. After 40 years, we still have 40 years. We still have it in our blood to still want to entertain. So I'm telling you today, we're back in the studio recording a 40th year anniversary album.
we could watch this stuff all day, right? Oh.
What you want to say?
Today is a little celebration for the 40th anniversary for J5.
Okay, Jode. Let me see. I got to get on the other phone. Hold on, because we're having phone issues here. Let's hope this works. Jody, can you request to join? Kylie's watching. This is what happened with Vincent. Hold on. How do I do that? Let me see. You see on the bottom, there's like a button with a plus. All right, wait. Hold on a second.
They all start wearing bandages on their heads.
Let me see.
Michael, yes, ma'am. I want to talk to you. Sit down for a minute. I knew you did the commercial for the family. I appreciate it because I know how hard it is when you have other things that you want to do. My own music. And that's where my heart is. No. You're torn, and I understand. But Joseph,
Joe, do you see on the bottom where it says, where it's got like a little picture of a person and then a plus? Like, kind of right?
Hold on. And now that Jermaine's see if Motown, the family, can perform together again. It'd never be the same. You know, I was sitting in my room.
See, we got blocked on the first time, so when I logged on the second time...
You were always practicing a performance.
Like, this is what I'm watching right now. It's not... Oh, you're on your computer.
That's all you ever knew. I wanted to play with the other kids.
Okay, let me...
Set up your candy store.
Hold on a
Wanted to trick or
second.
treat on Halloween. Ride bikes.
Click on
Used to see the other
Jodi.
kids on the street playing. I never had time for all of that.
It's not going to work.
You missed a lot. It's true. I always thought you were going to leave.
Jodi, can you log off and then log on again?
All the hard times he put you through.
But you're on your computer. That's what Vincent did the other time. I'm on my cell phone.
I guess I still love him, Michael. He may have pushed.
If you can log off and log on, and then like, okay, there we go.
But he's the one. He's the one.
Please work. Please work. Oh, hey, wait a minute.
Hi.
Oh my God. Hello.
I'm on my phone. I didn't want to be on my phone.
Look, you're not dealing with the president and the first lady, okay? This is the other end of that. Like, you were up here. Now, okay, this is down here. So
No, you are always the president, Ron. You're the president of all Jackson.
We had to log on an hour early just to go over all your credits and history so that we wouldn't spend the whole time with this. What an impressive resume, my God.
Thank you. You're embarrassing me.
No,
and
no.
then watching all those clips, I'm like, it just brings back so many memories, especially with the Jacksons. It's like, woo.
I just want to say one thing before we start.
Uh-huh.
If you've been to a Jackson party, the Jacksons are the star of the after party. Everybody wants a picture with them. There is no doubt who the pre-party is. The person that takes the most pictures is on camera right now, and it's not me. There is no doubt about it. You guys that were there know. You know.
The Jacksons have the best fans in the world. Like, I love, when I was on Twitter, I had about 50,000 followers, and most of them were Jackson fans.
Wow.
And I cut that Twitter off when Trump got on, so I cut that Twitter off. But I have to say, worldwide, everywhere I go with the Jacksons, by myself, when I'm recognized by a Jackson fan, they're the most gracious fans on the planet. And as you know, Michael lived for his fans, and so do the brothers. You were at the last show. I saw you at the last show, and the line for the meet and greet with the brothers was huge.
Yeah,
and they were exhausted, but they stayed for hours to do it. They loved
3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. I still hear my buddy Lenny with the picture. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Next. 3, 2, 1, 3, 2.
Well, you know what? I'll be honest. I left at that point, so I don't know who the hell stayed.
I know. I didn't see you. Yeah, I didn't see you back there. Yeah. I know. I saw you.
I can go to bed.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, it was a homecoming there, so it was really. So, all right, we have a million questions, but just for the past 2 days, we've been watching part 1 and part 2 of the Jacksons and American Dream. So, any stories you have there?
Wow.
Shout out first of all to the cast, was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the choreography. And the 3 actors that played Michael were,
phenomenal.
Yeah.
I remember them well, and I think one of them passed away. The one that played the older Michael passed away. Wiley, I think his name was.
Yes.
But
yes.
So my history starts right then and there. My history with the Jacksons starts on that project. Like I was working at Eddie Murphy's company prior to that, and I was this young, eager, trying to come up in the ranks person. Michael was on top of the world. The Jacksons were all at like full throttle. And I got a call to see if I wanted to work on a movie with a script and work in the script department of a large family. And they all had different opinions of how they were raised. And so they all had different opinions of the script. And I was like, what could that be? I thought, okay, it must be the Osmonds, or, I didn't think the Jacksons were doing anything. And it's a funny story, and it's a true story. It's the first time. So I was somewhere, I think I was filming and I was on set somewhere, but I got a call from the network saying, you must go down and meet with the executive producers of this project. If you want this job, you got to go right now. And I was in like terrible jeans and a t-shirt. I had just come from set from something else. And so I was like, okay, I'll go, as long as they don't mind how I'm dressed. Because I just don't dress like that.
Right.
I walk in. Nobody's told me it's the Jackson movie because everything's hush hush. I walk in, there's Jermaine Jackson, Mrs. Jackson, Mrs. Jackson.
Oh my God.
And like a lot of the kids and stuff were there, and I was like, oh my God. And I looked terrible. And I was like, the first thing I said was, I never go to meetings like this. I'm so sorry. But yeah, that was my first encounter with the family. And then from there, I ended up working on behalf of the network and Stan Margulies. And Suzanne DePass, of course, that's when I met her for the first time. And Suzanne DePass. Yeah, and it was a great film. I'm Holly Robinson Pete, who's one of my best friends now. She played Diana Ross in that. And we didn't know each other back then. And now flash forward, we both have children on the autism spectrum. She is like one of the closest people to me in Hollywood. And,
that's nice.
you know, so it's just funny how that project brought me together with the Jacksons and a lot of other people that did great work on it. Funny story. So I remember Terrence Howard when we were casting, and Terrence Howard, I think, played Jackie maybe. It's been so long, Jesus. And I just remember him being so cerebral and so like, I want to do this so bad and so like thespian. And it was like, dude, it's the Jacksons. Just go out there and dance. Just go out there and shake your ass and memorize your lines. But I have to say, it was wonderful. I traveled a lot with that project. I think we shot in Chicago. It was just a great project, and it was a lot of fun. And that's when I became really close with Jermaine. He and his wife, then Margaret Maldonado, were the executive producers.
Right.
And that's when I became close to Mrs. Jackson.
Wow.
And I think after that, I met Michael, then Marlon, then LaToya. Like, it just kind of comes in waves. So I've literally been around since then. And
that led into the A&E, the Jackson Dynasty, right? Which
it did.
Right.
It did. So I lost touch with Jermaine for a long time, and then I reconnected with Marlon and then LaToya. And so this is a true story, and it's never been told before. LaToya actually wanted me to develop a series for her. So we developed a reality show for LaToya. And fast forward, something happened where she couldn't do it, and then the network asked me if there was another Jackson, and I called Jermaine, and he's like, "Yeah, me and my brothers, we'll do it."
Wow.
And literally, it was like 18 months to 2 years to get that off the ground before we even shot anything.
And it was planned like in 2008, right? I mean, before Michael.
I think.
Yeah.
2007, we started.
Oh, 2007. Wow.
2007, we started shooting some stuff, and we started, doing the legal side of it, because
right.
legal. When you do a show like that, and you actually have Jackson music, and you actually have Jacksons, and you actually have clips, there's a lot of legal that goes into the clearance before you even can set foot into making a series.
Like, I'm assuming Michael Jackson is the hardest music to get approved, right?
On the planet.
Yeah.
On the planet. However, I just called him and was like, "Yo."
Really?
Yeah. It was easier to get clearance when he was alive. Then the show we really picked up after he passed. We were still filming. We were halfway through and had to reshoot a lot of stuff. Because, this is another untold story. We were going to the O2 when we were going to do one of the first nights of the O2 show. We were going to bring the brothers to do the reunion part. And that took a while for me to work on with Michael. And we, he agreed and the brothers agreed, and we went back and forth, and we finally got it. And then he passed. So then I had to end up working with the estate from that point, and it was not as easy, it still was not easy.
Sure.
Yeah, but working with Michael is probably one of the highlights of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Working with that family is absolutely, they are family to me.
I was just going to say that I've seen the brothers around you. You are the fourth sister. There is no doubt. I'm sure they look at you like that. I mean, really, you can tell the affection and your children towards them. I've seen, so it's really a family. Yeah, for sure.
It really is, and I'm blessed in that way. I mean, my kids do call them Uncle Tito and Uncle Marlon. Like, they've been uncles for a long time. My kids were 3 and 4 when Uncle Michael passed, and At the time, they didn't know him as Michael Jackson. He was just Uncle Michael.
Wow.
And Uncle, you know, they didn't know. They were
Yeah.
toddlers. They didn't know.
Yeah.
So it's been really interesting to watch them grow up and learn who Michael is, you know.
Sure.
And, you know, they would hang out with Prince in Paris and Blanket, and at the time, Blanket.
Oh.
And they didn't know that any of them were celebrities, you know. And so now it's funny to hear them, like, as 18 and 19-year-olds going, like, man, Uncle Michael was, like, bigger than the world. It's like, yeah, he was. He really was. Yeah.
And then working in the Brothers led into working with Janet, right? On your next.
I did. I did a documentary about Janet in the Super Bowl and how she was pretty much blacklisted for an event where two people were on stage,
Absolutely.
right? It takes two to do what happened.
Absolutely.
And whether wrong or right, they both didn't get persecuted the way she did. So, you know, as an African-American woman, I felt like I needed to, because I knew the inside story. I knew how she felt. I knew, you know, she was in tears after that happened. And I wanted to make sure we told the truth and just shine a light on my own industry. Like, this particular chapter in her life, you know, the media tried to take her down on the back of trying to take Michael down, you know, and so I was sort of like, I'm not going to direct this unless I can speak truths. I'm not going to say anything negative about the Jacksons or Janet. And if they did do something negative, I would say it. Like, I'm close enough to say, like, hey, they did this, they did that. We have honest conversations with each other like that. But that's not what happened in that situation. So I ended up sort of pointing the finger, and I partnered with New York Times to do that project. And I even pointed the finger at New York Times. Like, if you look at it, there's a clip where I show the New York Times even mistreated Janet when it came to the Super Bowl.
You don't shy away from the, you know, from the, you know, like it's not all fun and games. There's the serious issues too, as well as the Jacksons and autism and yeah.
Long and short, because of that, I won an Emmy award for that, and it was funny.
Absolutely, yes. Well,
and you know how this is the most competitive family in the world. So I got a call from one of the brothers, and they're like, "You won an Emmy for our little sister and not us?" Like,
well deserved, though. I mean, come on, look, you tackled a tough issue, right? And it had to be said, and it's that fine line you have to walk to not, you know, the elephant in the room. And
well, and I think one of the things you'll see about me, Ron, is I'm fully dedicated to this family. Like Mrs. Jackson, when I first met her, and this is probably 30-something years ago, I told her, she said one thing to me. She said, "Would you please always watch out for my boys?"
Wow.
And we've had a lot of people come and go that were trusted and did horrible things to my family. Would you please always watch out for my boys and don't let them drive you crazy? If they drive you crazy, call
me. Really?
Yeah. So she and I made that pact, and I promised her way back then, I'll never do anything to harm your kids. Like, you are a queen to me. And but for the Jacksons, I wouldn't be sitting here. You know, I was a young girl in Boston, Massachusetts, watching the Jackson 5 cartoon, watching the Jacksons on Soul Train. They gave me a license to dream that brought me to that stage to win Emmy Awards. You know what I mean? And so I'm always dedicated to them. And I know, you know, if you Google my name, you will never see me talk about them. I don't talk about them at all. I never do. And it's not for lack of TMZ and everybody trying. I mean,
I can imagine. Yeah,
I just don't. So this is rare, Ron.
All right.
I must like you a lot.
Hey, we appreciate it. Listen, you know, you're a hard girl. I think I got my 2 pictures with you. One in Nashville, one in Tampa. So no, not in Tampa. In Gary, yeah, I know. Yeah. And did you not win an award last week?
Did I? Yes, I did.
You did.
I did.
Hey, come on, girl.
Thank you, Ron. I need to hire you as my publicist. I did. I did a series for CNN last summer because I don't work on all Jackson stuff. Like I work.
No.
And so LeBron James and I were partners on a CNN series called See It Loud: The History of Black Television, and we did.
I watched it. I told you. Yeah, absolutely.
And we won the Namick Award, which is CNN's never won that award before in their history. So it was really nice to be able to win that. And it's an award about bringing diverse conversations to the table. And I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of that.
And where did I see you? I saw you on an Indianapolis radio station a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
I saw you backstage at the Win. Yeah. I've seen you in 3 different countries, 5 different cities. I mean, look, we don't have enough time, I know, but I don't know where you get the time.
I don't know either. But Ron, honestly, because the Jacksons know exactly who you are. Each one of the brothers know who you are.
Oh, no, please don't. No, I don't know if that's a good thing, Jodi.
No, it's a
really.
good thing. They're like, he's here again, and they're always surprised when they see you, and they're like, he's the most dedicated person. And I was like, Ron must be independently rich because
Yeah. Ask. Let's see. Who knows? Ask Najee next time. Who do you know? Antoinette Cook. If you're watching, by the way, you're a role model and inspiration to people. I don't know if you know that, but really the way there's a lot of people look up to you, even though you're kind of behind the scenes, even though you're not behind. Yeah. I mean, just so you know, really.
Thank you.
No,
I
for real.
met Antoinette. It's funny when you connect with people that you've been seeing for years on Facebook and you finally see them in person. Just feel like you know them, and I hopefully, when I see Jackson fans or New Edition fans, because I work with I work with Kid and Play. When I see the fans, I just work with clients that have the best fans on the planet, and it literally is like, because I've worked with other people that aren't nice to their fans, and it's shocking. It's shocking.
What's
Madonna is notoriously like that.
What's the new podcast we have to listen to? Dougie Fresh.
So the new podcast is called The Funhouse with Kid and Play. And it's all about sort of celebrating 50 years of hip hop and all the inside travails and all the inside stories and exclusives. So it's really fun. And I just heard we're going to post it today. We have 5 episodes out and we landed in the top 25 of all podcasts.
Wow.
And we're in the top 100 of all Apple Music podcasts, and there's 53,000 of them. And we're in the top 100. Yeah. So that's nice. I was like, that's
think that's a coincidence. Yeah.
I think it's great. It's really fun.
You are the go-to. You are the go-to girl.
I guess. I don't know. I'm just gonna collect my check and keep it moving.
What was it? What was it like when you were backstage with the Jacksons at the Win with New Edition a couple months ago?
Oh boy. Okay. So some of New Edition, I manage them.
Right.
I'm a business manager for the Jacksons and also a family friend. And so I was like, let's go surprise Ralph. And because, Ralph Tresvant, Ricky Bell, Bobby Brown, they love the Jacksons. Like when I say they love them, like eternally love the Jacksons. And they credit everything in their lives to the Jacksons. And they've only met them so many times throughout their lives. And I spend like almost every day with a Jackson or like a New Edition, like every day. So I was like, you know what? Let's all fly in and go surprise Ralph. So Tito was supposed to be there. He didn't come. Marlon and Jackie, we all ended up coming in and surprising the guys backstage at the Win. For those that don't know, New Edition is doing their first residency in Las Vegas, and it sold out in 6 hours. So Ralph brought us in, and we had a blast backstage. It was like they hadn't seen each other in so many years, and it was just a lot of love in the room. And then we went into Jackie and Marlon, for whatever reason, didn't bring security that night because nobody knew we were coming. And so we went in the audience, and somebody in the audience yelled, "It's Jackie!"
Oh my God.
And we got mobbed, literally mobbed. So
this is at the Win, which is kind of a higher end, it's not. I
got mobbed by New Edition fans that loved So, it was
security.
Crazy. It was crazy.
That's great. All right. Any other projects other than the podcast? What can we look for? Anything you want to tell us, or?
Oh yeah, I have several documentaries that
I can imagine.
I am working on a project with the Jacksons. So that'll be coming out soon. And we're all just looking forward to the bio, Michael's movie. I think there's a lot of, everybody's excited because Jafar is playing Michael, and that was a huge hump. And it's literally freaky for me to see him as Michael, because it just, I've known Jafar since he was little. And so it's weird for me. It's weird. It's weird for me, but nobody else could have played the role. Nobody. Like he's embodied him. But I think we're also, for me, and I won't say we, for me, I'm a little nervous because, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. And, if there's any missteps or any mistruth, it's going to hurt, so far so good. Like, it looks great. I read a very early draft of the script probably 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
Oh, really?
And I love Antoine Fuqua as a director, but I'm always naturally nervous.
A little nervousness, yeah.
Yeah, I'm always skeptical, always nervous, because Hollywood can do what it can do. You know what I mean? And the Jacksons have seen the short end and the pointy end of things. And, you know, it's tough. It's tough. So I'm excited, but I'm not.
Yeah, I know it's, yeah. I kind of want April 19th to come and everything to be okay. And then we'll look on. But you guys set the blueprint. If it's anything like the mini series, we'll all be happy, because that was, I mean, the way they handled Joseph, it was fair, it was honest, it was balanced, and you know, after spending some time in Gary a couple weeks ago, I got a little better like appreciation, and yeah, I mean, it was really well done. So hopefully the budget was there.
I was watching those clips and I'm like getting emotional, because you know, we literally were shooting when Michael died. I will never forget where we all were when we got the call that he was sick.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring it up, but
it was hard. It was hard, and I appreciate the guys trusted me with their stories to be able to sort of tell how they felt. You know, one thing for me, like, I had never seen the Jacksons perform together on stage. I missed the Victory
tour.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I never saw them perform, and I didn't go to the 30th anniversary because I was out of town.
Oh.
So I was looking forward to This Is It, because the brothers were going to be reunited with Michael secretly. It was going to be a big blown out thing, and
really?
Then Michael passed.
First night they were going to be part of it.
It was going to be in the first week. They were going to come up and surprise the fans. And
I had tickets to the first 3 shows.
Did you really?
I still haven't opened they gave her a commemorative ticket, and I still haven't opened it. I don't know what it looks like. I don't even want to see it.
Yeah, it's hard.
I know.
So the next time I saw them all together on stage was when they wheeled Michael out in the casket. And, you know, that moment will never, ever, ever leave me. You know, it'll never leave me. And it was hard. Like, I was there for every step of the way, you know, for all of that. And, you know, I think that's why I'm so loyal to them, because there was true pain. There was true devastation was the word I would use. And they just handled it wonderfully, because the press was all over us. Like, I even at a certain point had to stay in a hotel because the press found out we were doing the TV show at that point. And so he was camped outside my house and scaring my kids.
Oh my God.
You know, it was just a tough time. So if that was what was happening to me, you can imagine, you know, what was happening to the family. So yeah, it was a tough time, but you know, we got through it, and we're still sticking together like glue and loving the fans and loving some of the stuff that's coming up.
And leave the people with your famous quote about a closed mouth.
A closed mouth doesn't get fed, so you got to ask. If you see them, ask for an autograph.
It's true. It's really true. It's really true. I mean, it's like easy to be shy. Look, I feel that way too. I'm like shy, really. Yeah. I think it's easier for girls, but that's a whole nother story. We'll say. All right.
I don't think so. I think it's, you know what, the Jacksons, all of them are really wonderful. So just go up. It's your chance, and they love their fans. So
yeah. That part's true. That part's true.
Do we need to take any questions or anything? I don't see any.
I was gonna. Yeah, I didn't know if you did. Anybody have any questions for Jodi? Quick.
I have about 2 minutes left.
You have 2 minutes. All right.
I can't see anything.
Yeah, it's Jodi. Can we get a residency in Vegas? LOL. No.
For the Jacksons, they had one. We did that in 2012, I think, in 2013.
Back then. Yeah. I saw them at the Cannery. They were up at the Cannery in Las Vegas. Yeah, I didn't know if we wanted to take questions. Let me scroll.
Which was my favorite Jackson project? Is that what somebody said?
Well, yeah, probably.
There's 3 of them now under my belt.
You got an award. That kind of has to rank up there, I would think.
No. I'm going to be honest. Every one of them was hard.
Yeah.
It's like working with the Jacksons, you lose your life in dog years.
Really?
So
wow.
They're all hard. I would say the Dynasty one was probably my favorite.
The Dynasty was, yeah. Okay. Will the brothers record new music?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Will the brothers be recording new music?
They are currently.
I know there was talk of that, right, for the 40 year, but.
Yep. I was just at Jackie's house. He has a studio there. Marlon and I were at Jackie's house, and he has some great stuff coming down the pipeline. So
cool.
I got a chance listen to some good stuff. So yeah, they're always working in the studio. That never stops. And I believe Tito is working on some stuff now as we speak today with 3T. So.
Oh wow!
Surprise!
So 2025 is going to be a good. It should be a good year, right, for the Jacksons? 2025.
2025 should be like. There's a lot of plans for not only just Michael, obviously with the movie, but Jackson 5.
Let's hope we can get that Grammy thing, but we'll save that for another day. But all right. Thank you so much. I know you're busy. Thank you for doing this, and I don't know where we'll see you next.
I'll be at
Florida.
I'll be in Florida June 12th.
You're doing the okay, I'm going. Yeah, I may or may not be there. We're trying to get Judith Hill to come to Michael's memorial at Forest Lawn, and she's going to be in California June 11th at the Grammy Museum. Oh. So I got a ticket for that. It's kind of like a meet and greet type of thing. So I'm just going to try to ask her, and then maybe I'll fly out there for Immokalee. You know, because I have money to burn, so I'll just hop a plane and we'll just fly out there.
Give it to me. If you got money to burn, put it in my account.
All right, you got it. All right.
I'm working hard for my money.
Thank you for doing this. Really, we appreciate it. All right, bye, Jodi. Thank you. Bye. Oh, okay. Wow. So yeah, so I don't have. All right, we don't have comments. So that was Jodi. Wow. What a great girl. Really. I wasn't able to see the comments. That's why I had to keep switching over here to this phone. So there you go. Yes. Yeah. If you're ever at a Jackson party and you see her there, you know, go up, say hi. She's really friendly. And what did you miss? Oh, Kashmir. Come on, girls. All right. So once again, happy birthday to Rebbie and Toya today. They share the same birthday as did Mrs. Jackson and Jackie, May 4th, and it was Janet's birthday. I'm on a Zoom call tonight with the Jackson Family Honors, believe it or not, down in Gary, and we're gonna see what they. Thank you, Jodi. Thank you more. Send up hearts for Jodi, you guys, on the other phone. Yeah, Wendy. It's the last chance. It's the last chance for Judith Hill. So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it's next week. We're at the courthouse. So a week from today, it'll be June 5th. That's when the trial date supposedly is going to be announced. And then the 6th, there's another motion. So I'll be there for the 5th and the 6th. And then 4 weeks from yesterday was June the 25th. We'll be at Forest Lawn all day on a sad note. The documentary, I would say Amazon. Antoinette, you just missed it. I gave a little shout out to you from Jodi. I saw. Okay, yeah. All right. Do you guys have anything? Otherwise, I don't know if anything over the weekend. Otherwise, we're heading back to Beverly Hills. Who knows? Who knows what that's? I mean, hopefully it'll just be in and out, get the dates, and no added drama there. Once again, June the 5th will be the date for the motion to be released. So I'm going to be out there the 4th, 5th, and 6th. We'll head over to Forest Lawn. I'm going to check out a couple spots for Michael's birthday celebration. It looks like it's going to be Sunday, September the 1st. Once again, that's a crazy weekend. Thursday's Michael's birthday. I'll probably be at Forest Lawn in the morning. We don't know if Michael Jackson Day is going to happen or not. If it is, then I'll be there in the afternoon or whatever it is. And then I have to decide whether to come back to Vegas for the Vegas show. The following day, the Jacksons in concert in San Diego. The following day, the Jacksons in concert at SoFi Stadium with the 75 groups, Fools in Love. The day after that is Michael's birthday. The day after that, Greg Gaines is playing with Toto at the Hollywood Bowl, if we have any money left. So, yeah, that's all that. So, all right, other than that, if anybody have anything, I have to look at this phone. I'm not sure, Janice. I'm not sure the Jackson's on June 12th. It depends if I could get a flight or if I just have to fly like right out of Los Angeles, which I don't really want to. I don't really want to do. I don't know if I could even get to Judith Hill or not, but it's going to be at the Grammy Museum, so it's a smaller venue. I may or may not. I send an email to their email address, whatever, the booking agent. I haven't got a response back. Crystal was trying on the European website, but yeah, the Jacksons in concert, June 12th. If I'm going, I'll let you know ahead of time. I have to talk to Lenny, see what kind of merchandise is available. As far as the books or the records or the signed albums and stuff, guitars, all that stuff. So, all right. Once again, happy birthday to Rebbie and LaToya, and special thanks to Jodi for doing that. Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys in Beverly Hills next Tuesday. I'll be up at Forest Lawn. If anyone's going to Forest Lawn this weekend, let me know for the flowers. If not, for next week, I'll have the flowers covered out there. I'll be there, and we'll ride around to a couple venues. I'll show you an outside venue versus an inside venue. What we determine, what we want to do for Michael. It's kind of 50-50. Some people want in, some people want out because the weather, obviously. But we will decide. All right. Once again, thanks everybody. Thanks again to Jodi, and we'll see you from Beverly Hills next Tuesday. Bye for now.